Welcome to What the Health? Where anything health is fair game as we tackle the trends and bust the myths about health and wellness. Here are your hosts, Dr. Dan and Angela Toro.
And welcome to another What the Health podcast. I am Dr. Dan here with my co-host,
Angela. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for another episode. As always, got to do our little disclaimer here. So as you guys know by now, we are here for informational purposes only to discuss health and our take on it. In no way is it supposed to be taken as individualized medical advice. Always talk to your trusted healthcare provider before making any changes to your actual lifestyle health goals. All right?
Excellent. So today we are going to be discussing, what are we discussing? Battling
biology is
Battling biology.
what we're calling it. So really just this idea of fighting against yourself, essentially, when you're trying to make health goals or health changes or be healthier or stronger or faster or whatever your goals may be. But people often get stuck in this state of comparison. So comparing themselves to other people, or again, we're in that time of year where we're just getting blasted with advertisements for, this weight loss program, this exercise program, this food delivery program. I mean, it's just everywhere. And you see all of these and it's endless. So you think, and every single one of them obviously has people advertising and say, I
worked for me.
Yeah, all I had to do was do this, and I had this result, or I did these 3 simple things and had this result, and all of these different things, and then people buy the products or do the program or follow the steps and aren't getting the results that they want. And not only that, but might actually even be feeling worse than they were before they started doing some of these things. And so really just wanted to talk about this idea of, we talk about it in a lot of our podcasts, but being in tune with your body, being, having that intuition when it comes to if something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't right for your body. And our bodies are very, very good at telling us when something isn't right for us. And so it's really about, especially if you're trying to, make changes, set goals, make health changes, lifestyle changes, you really want to make sure that you are listening to those signs. You are listening to when your body's telling you, yes, this is good, or no, this isn't. Because at the end of the day, what works for me might not be what works for you, might not be what works for your friend, your brother, your sister, your mother. I mean, everybody, has very unique experiences, has very unique lifestyles, has different things. So, if your best friend is doing X, Y, and Z and getting these amazing results and feels great and they're telling you all about it and you implement X, Y, and Z and you're not feeling great, then it might just be a matter of that's not the right program for you or the right lifestyle for you. So it's really about kind of that having an intuition. And that perfect example, I was talking to somebody at the gym that the blood type diet is really popular right now, and which is the idea of based off your blood type, you're supposed to eat or not eat certain ways.
Foods, yeah.
And so somebody at the gym was telling me, I based off my diet, I'm supposed to not be doing as much meat. Now this is the big guy, like you could tell somebody who lifts a lot, probably had a very high protein diet. And he's like, based off this, I'm supposed to not be eating as much meat, so I really cut back. And he's like, and I was feeling like crap. And I was like, well, did you feel like crap when you were eating meat in your diet? He's like, no, I felt good. I'm like, well, then maybe that's, I'm not a certified nutritionist, but
not a brain surgeon.
But it sounds to me, if you were feeling good and energized and had the energy to get through your workouts with the way you were eating before, and now you don't, then something's not adding up, and your body is telling you that. Your body is signaling, hey, something's not right by putting you in this really fatigued state because it doesn't want you to. You don't have the energy to do what you need to do, so your body's trying to tell you, hey, something's not right. So instead of continuing to battle against that, maybe we need to listen and figure out how to make those changes and what's going to work for you.
Yeah, and you mentioned the differences in, so many different recommendations, right? There's plant-based eating. There's now carnivore diet is really popular. There's this blood type eating. There's, eating with the cycles of the seasons. And, there's just, you could look at, and every diet under the sun has worked for, one person or another. Yeah.
At least worked for somebody or they wouldn't be.
Yeah. So, I have this, really good example that there was this woman in an accountability group that I had met through a friend, and she was really struggling. She had put on, I think it was 15 or 20 pounds inside of a few weeks. Like,
oh, wow.
It was a significant amount of weight very, very quickly, to the point where you're like, usually when you gain that much weight that quickly or lose that much weight that quickly, you start thinking like, okay, could there be some sort of cancer or tumor related, causing, some sort of metabolic dysfunction that's causing her weight to go through the roof. Well, and so I talked to her, and I was starting to get to the bottom of it. Well, what changed? What happened? Because obviously this is someone, we were in an accountability group together. So she was trying to do better with her diet, trying to do better with exercise. Well, right around the time that she started noticing the significant increased weight gain, she had gone vegan in her diet. And we have had this conversation before, and I'm not saying that, vegan is a bad choice, but for some people, it does not work. And she noticed that when she was eating vegan, she had eliminated, almost all meat from her diet. She started gaining a significant amount of weight. And so we started having this conversation, and in the back of my mind, and I've heard a little bit about carnivore dieting. I have not, dove significantly into the science of it, but I've had conversations with colleagues and other people who have experienced it. So that was in the back of my mind. And so as she's discussing this and telling me like, okay, I transitioned to vegan and now all this weight gain. So to me, in my mind, just being logical, like, okay, well, have you ever heard of carnivore? I just said it off the top of my head because I'm thinking, all right, you eliminated all the meat and you started gaining all this weight. Maybe you need to swing to the opposite side of the spectrum. And as soon as I said carnivore, she's like, I've been thinking that I need to do that. And since she started that. And so, we discussed, like, all right, what would that look like and how she could start implementing. And she, started taking some specific supplements also to help get her hormones back on track, because there was some blood work that came and I was reading for her, and significant dysfunction going on in some of the hormone levels. So as we were discussing it, we kind of implemented this new diet plan for her alongside with her exercise routine, and sure enough, over the past the past 3 months, she was able to drop like 25 or 30 pounds. And again, when she originally went vegan, she was doing it to lose weight, and she had the opposite effect. So she not only had the initial 10 to 15 pounds that she wanted to lose, but she gained 15 or 20 pounds on top of that. So she swung very significantly back in the correct direction, in the healthy direction. And then again, not only did the weight come off, but how she was feeling in terms of the fatigue and the just her energy level, her ability to to exercise, because she's a very active woman. And again, going to that gentleman who's working out really hard. If you are working out and your body is creating a significant muscle turnover on a regular basis, you need more protein in your diet compared to those who don't.
Exactly. Yeah, we talk about all the time how the average individual in this country is probably way over consuming protein. But again, we're talking about the average person who gets up and goes to sit at a desk for 12, 14 hours a day and maybe goes to the gym for 30, 45 minutes. Yeah.
A couple times a week.
And then is chugging a protein shake and all that. Yeah, we're talking about that person, yes, is over consuming protein. But yeah, people who are working out, 2-3 hours a day, or doing that several times a week, that absolutely you need that. Requires a lot of energy.
Well, and I found it significant too, because I've also had the opposite effect with the type of protein, right? In terms of like, you get this artificially processed protein, this highly concentrated protein in these shakes and these bars, and a lot of times, it's just this artificial, it's not in the normal realm of protein to fat ratio. It's just all protein, and your body isn't made
a lot of it.
And a lot of it. And
like some of those have like upwards of what, like 60? Yeah,
I've seen 100 plus grams of protein in some of the bars, and
in one sitting.
And in one sitting, it's just like where our bodies are not meant to process food like that. Versus if you look at how the carnivore diet is, they want you to get your protein through meats, and if you look at meat concentration, depending on the type of meat, there's also a significant amount of fat in some of those concentrations.
Because it's not just meat;
it's also the organs too.
Exactly,
that you're
it's
eating
the
as well.
Type, so again, you're getting these really nutrient
dense
meats.
Yeah, because you're not just getting the B vitamins and the proteins in there, that you're getting the trace minerals, but you're also getting hormones in there from the animals that had those. A lot of times people who have thyroid dysfunction, eating thyroid glands from lambs, from bovine, from cows, from pigs, that can help to regulate thyroid function. And so when you start to look at the glands of these animals that you can be eating on top of carnivore, it's about the most pure ingredients that you can get into your system. So I have not personally tried it, and again, I'm not going out on a limb saying that everyone should do it. I'm just saying this is two examples of people who tried to change something because so and so told them to, and in the woman's case that I just used the example of, she was going to a healthcare clinic. And, I mean, that was the recommendation. And like, oh yeah, you need to cut back your protein and you need to, increase, you need to do more of a vegan lifestyle. And that was the decision and that was the recommendation. And immediately it was just, very, very poor results. So, you can get professional expert level opinions from just about anywhere in the world. And in those cases, it was not the right protocol for obtaining health in those individuals.
Yeah, exactly. Because again, the professionals, it's not to say that it was a bad recommendation. I'm sure they had their purposes for doing it. And again, it's probably based in some kind of science or research or clinical experience. But what we talk about this all the time, when you're looking at research and what works for the masses, at the end of the day, you were an individual person. So you could be that in the 5% or the 1% or the 0.0001% that it doesn't work. That's, ultimately in research, it's never 100%. Yep. So, and it's often not even close to 100% with a lot of these things.
Yeah, really in research, they're just trying to outdo the placebo, right?
Yeah.
The placebo is 30-35%. In any experiment, it is, well known in the scientific community that, 35% of the
tell
people,
somebody it's going to work.
Regardless of what you do to them, your protocol is going to, get them better because they believe it. Yep. And there is a cellular, change that happens at the research level when you're measuring those things. But that's really what science is trying to outdo is, is my pill or is my diet plan or is my whatever, outdoing the placebo. And if it's a fraction of a percentage, they're like, yeah, good, we did a good job.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's when you're coming down to you as an individual making changes, it has to be exactly that, individualized. It has to be, and if you have a healthcare professional that you can work with and can work with you one-on-one and be open to the fact that this might not work, so then let's see what else is going to work. That's the kind of person you want versus if somebody's, I always say, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So I think that's always a good reminder because again, we see like, do this exercise program and or do this diet and you're going to look like this or you're going to drop 30 pounds and like that or blah blah blah. And first of all, I mean, again, we know all of those things. It's marketing. They're trying to make them appealing. They're trying to sell them. Maybe they do help some people, but for the most part, if somebody's saying, all you have to do is this one simple thing, and I mean, I say all the time, it is pretty simple. Just stop eating the garbage and move more. Yeah. That's the simple part, but that's not what people want to hear. They want to hear, what can I buy? Yeah. Like, who can I give my money to that's going to magically make me healthy? And
that's the problem. It's like, how can I keep doing the things that I'm doing and still achieve the goals that I'm doing? morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just heard, it was a friend and mentor of mine. He posted something the other day about all of your goals or all of your dreams are on the other side of the coin of the things that you didn't want to do.
Yeah, I mean, because I talk to people all the time, and they'll be, dairy's such a perfect example. The number of people that talk about,
Buzzword.
I don't feel good when I eat cheese or ice cream or milk or whatever, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe just stop. It's like, oh no, I can't give up cheese. Why? I like cheese as much as the next person, but I don't have it in the house. I don't eat it on a regular basis. I mean, to me, that's something that that wasn't something that was overnight. I mean, that's been years of transitioning my eating and my palate and realizing that there's other ways to make food taste good. But, there's zero cheese. And I don't know, is there any dairy in my house? I don't think there's any dairy in my house. And it's not to say that I avoid it 100%. Yeah. But on the regular, absolutely. And I definitely feel, my stomach tells me when I have dairy. Yeah. I know, and it's just, you think about that there's people just accepting the fact that they're going to feel like crap every day because they don't want to give up 5 minutes of satisfaction of eating a piece of cheese.
And then take it a step further, because now, again, there's an entire pharmaceutical industry around you don't have to change anything.
Take a Lactaid.
Yeah, you have you're getting reflux. Oh, don't worry, keep eating the chili dogs and drinking the wine spritzers and the eating the chocolate and consuming all the dairy that you want, and you can just take this pill and you can go to bed and sleep fine and you won't have any reflux. Yeah. Wow. And then multiply that times, every single symptom that your body can have, because it's trying to tell you that it is toxic or give you a signal or a sign that, hey, there's something wrong here. Maybe you should listen and stop the behavior that's causing it. No, what do we want to do? We just want to put a silent, we just want to silence the fire alarm.
Exactly. And so that's really what we mean by the stop battling your biology. It's that really just and we could even say as simple as your gut. Like your gut truly will tell you if you're on the right path. I say your gut and your skin are the two things, the telltale signs if you're on the right path. Like how your stomach's feeling and how your skin's looking is absolutely telling you if you're doing the right thing as far as your nutrition, your hydration, your exercise. I mean, I can feel it in my face when my diet's off. Like I just feel puffy, inflamed. Oh, yeah. Like it's just.
Oh yeah, I have breakouts if I eat too much sugar.
Yeah, it's like my skin just tells me like, whoo, like it's a big old.
I lost weight. Yeah. Oh, I can really see it in your face.
Yeah,
How big was I?
Sorry, comedian
tangent.
But yeah, so I mean, honestly, it's just our bodies are going to tell us, and it's as simple as just listening, and then and I get it. I'm not saying again like we're not perfect 100% of the time. And it's okay to indulge in those things that you enjoy, but really it's on the day-to-day if you're constantly kind of feeling this state of lethargic and gut upset and just not having that energy and not feeling like you're at your best, not feeling like your workouts are going well, that you even have the energy or desire to work out, all of these things. We talk about it all the time. Our bodies are designed to move, to be active, to burn food. Our bodies are designed to do it. And we've become so afraid of food, which, that's a whole nother, I think we have a whole nother podcast on that, on how food isn't really even food anymore in this country, which is part of the problem. But, we've become so afraid of it. So now people turn to all the products, which is just more stuff that's not processed. Food. Yeah. So it's just we've gotten in this, and that's why the word battle just we've gotten in this constant battle with ourselves when, really it's kind of just taking it back to the basics. You're really big into the fasting and using that as a reset. Again, it's just for me, it's just simply getting away from the processed stuff, getting away from the eating out, getting away from all of that seems to, really help with that reset. So it's finding and listening to your body. I'm a big fan of food logs and not just logs, but journaling. So
how are you feeling after you ate something?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So listing what you ate, the time, did you work out that day? What time? How are you feeling? Not just tracking weight, but tracking, okay, was my weight up a little bit and I was feeling bloated, or was my weight up a little bit and I
feeling strong?
Yeah, I was feeling strong. So maybe that means I had a good workout. Maybe that just means I'm, just holding on to a little extra weight before it kind of cuts back down because I'm just making those changes. So listen, there's a big difference. You can track your weight and the weight cannot change much, but how you're feeling does, how your clothes are fitting does, all of those things. So kind of learning to track all of that overall can really, really help point you in that direction. If you're seeing, oh yeah, every time I eat this food, I have a headache, or I have a gut upset, or I'm not sleeping well, or I have no energy, it's like, that might be a signal that needs to go from being a regular occurrence to okay, that might need to be a treat food, not an all the time food. Yes. Yeah. So that's essentially what we mean by not battling your biology. Listen to yourself. It's really as simple as that. Our bodies, most of our bodies are screaming at us to tell us, like, I don't like this, stop. And so learning to listen to that, I say it all the time, you take care of your body, it will take care of you. And that's ultimately what it comes down to.
Yeah, and it's so it's so important just to think about that, especially this time of year. We're starting to, people always look at the New Year's and New Year's resolution.
Coming out of holiday season,
we're coming out of the toxicity of the holiday season of all the extra sugar and alcohol, and so they're talking about New Year's resolutions, and but again, a lot of it's what product and what everything, what can I change, what can I add, but without any of the reflection as to what is my actual goal? What am I trying to accomplish? And why? Why am I? Because you really, if you don't get to the underlying why behind that, everything else sounds better, right? Grass is always greener when you're starting to look at, and you talked about those advertisements earlier. And it's not just in health, sometimes it's in business too. This time of year, every other ad that comes across my social media is about like, oh, or do you not have the practice of your dreams, or, your business life, or your investing. It's like, try that, try this or do that, or this is, you need to get with this program or this program. And it's like, okay, wait, let's take a step back, because again, what is that telling you? That's telling you that, oh, you're not good enough right now, or you haven't, you haven't progressed. And again, if you don't reflect on where you've come from and have a vision or a dream of where you'd like to get to, then yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the, oh yeah, well, I need to try this and I need to try that. And then you get so over inundated. One of my old coaches used to call it drinking from a fire hose, right? Oh, yeah. You just get so much, you just get over inundated, overwhelmed with information that you can't actually set the specific path. You get bogged down in the trees and can't, weave your way through the forest because you have gotten so bogged down in the information of trying all these different programs without having an actual specific plan. And that's where I think, we really try and say, all right, what is the goal? We sit down with patients, individuals, and say, what are you trying to accomplish? What does that mean to you? Then again, what are you trying to accomplish? And then let's talk about, well, why? Mm-hmm. What does it mean to you? If you want to go from a -4 to a +6 on our illness wellness continuum, +10 being the highest, -10 being the worst. If you want to get, you're at -4 now and you want to get to a +6, that's great. And these are the things that we have people check mark. What do you think you need to change? Do you need to get your spine adjusted? Do you need to, have better diet choices? Do you need to move your body more? Do you need help with, stress, mental, emotional, stress, management? What do you need to change? But then ultimately, I ask the question, what does it mean? What will life look like? How will it be different? What will it mean to you to be at that +6? Why is it important for you to be there? Oh, I want to spend more time with my grandchildren, or I want to be able to have more time freedom so that I can spend more time with my family. I want to be able to travel more. I want to be able to, but I can't do any of that right now because I'm, my time is taken over by, my life, my business, my job, or, kids, schedules, or I just can't feel like I get up in the morning because I'm so thoroughly exhausted. So if we don't get to the bottom of why we're trying to achieve something, then again the goal can easily get lost in life shuffle, and we forget the purpose of it, and then what we're not focused on we start to lose track of.
Absolutely.
So
all right, I think that's a good good place to wrap it up.
All right, so that was battling biology. I hope you had some good points on there. So really, I think the big, in brief, summary and discussion is, making sure you're listening to your body. Okay, listening to the signals. Trying not to. Take a medication that you're just going to mask a symptom or mask a signal that your body is trying to make you aware of. If you do want to change something, make sure that you are talking with a trusted healthcare professional, that you are, really getting to the underlying why behind your change, and then being able to map out the plan to get there. So with that being said, I'm Dr. Dan.
I'm Angela. We have a lot more information on our website if you haven't been there, TuroFamilyChiropractic.com. We have all of our podcasts posted there, a lot of blogs, a lot of information, so please check it out. We probably throw away more information than we should, but again, we want people to have it. We want, that's ultimately what we always say, we want people to get healthy and stay healthy for life, and we are here to help you do it.
Excellent. So we will see you on the next episode.
Yes, have a great day, guys.
Take it easy.
You've been listening to What the Health with Dr. Dan and Angela Toro, brought to you by Toro Family Chiropractic. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.whatthehealth.world.